So the stock market bubble just got a lot worse. In 2026, it's probably not going to be pretty. So I want to start off on this chart right here. This might look confusing, but just let me explain it to you. I think you're going to get a lot of value from it. This basically shows you that we are 2.1 standard deviations away from trend line. What does that actually mean? It means that the market is extremely overvalued right now. But let me just show you proof of what this actually correlates to in future expected returns. We're on a 10-year chart right here. This is basically just saying, hey, when we're at 2.1 standard deviations from trend, what does the market typically do in the 10 years going forward? Okay. You can see that we have this trend line going down. X axis going across right here is going to be returns going forward. 0% return is here, 100%, 200%, 3%, you get it. But now we're at 2.1 standard deviations away from trend. 2.1 on the y axis is here. If we plot 2.1, you can see 2.09 right there is from the year 2000 when the stock market obviously went down like 50%. It sure wasn't too good. You know, we're in that category right now, literally where the market is like a dot-com crash type valuation level. And if we just look at the chart on the right-hand side, right now we're at 2.08. If we look at what happened in the dot-com crash, I'm trying to get my cursor to go on it, but it is 2.08 also, it just won't get my cursor on it. And you can see they all kind of move in tandem here. So if I go to the bottom right chart, look at the chart right here. The market was up very high for the dot-com crash. You can see that the 10-year S&P 500 return for 10 years, 10 years later, it was down 22%. Not too good because of that valuation level. The valuation level was very, very high. You can see on the top right, it's at the top. You can see on the top left chart, very high level right there. And look at what we're doing right now. Valuation level is high. Market's very high. This is a time to trim. This is a time to just take it easy. Position yourself to capitalize on upside. Position yourself to capitalize on downside. That is what this video is all about. So let's run through a couple charts here just to see what we got going on. Let's see where the market's at, where the market's been. I got some really good stuff for you guys in this one. I think you'll get some good value here. So you can see that the NASDAQ, it's up 115% in 5 years. Is that typical? Absolutely freaking not. Like at the time of recording this video, sure, it's down 2%, a little blow off top potentially happening, which we'll talk about that more. But the market does not go up 115% in 5 years. Like that's almost, 22% per year. It's not justified. It's too much. Did the earnings per share go up that much? No, because earnings per share is what moves the price of an index or a stock in the long term. We did not get 22% earnings per share growth every single year for the last 5 years. So the market's hot. What did the S&P 500 do? Very similar move, 106%. Went up way too much. I do think that we're going to retrace quite a bit here. I think that the next couple of years, especially 2026, is going to be very, very bumpy. And by the end of this video, I think I'm going to prove to you as to why that's going to be. All right, now let's take a look at what our boy Warren Buffett got going on. You could see that Berkshire Hathaway does not buy back any stock and raises cash hoard to $381 billion. This is as of November 1st. They just reported earnings a couple days ago. Why is Warren Buffett not buying back any stock? It's very simple. The market's overvalued. He's only going to buy back Berkshire Hathaway stock when he feels like the stock is trading near or below intrinsic value, just the true value for what it should be trading for. He bought back nothing, meaning he doesn't even think it's close to intrinsic value. And simultaneously, look at the cash hoard, $381 billion. Like, do you know how much money that really is? He could buy every single NFL team in the entire world. He has enough cash to buy every single team. It's not good out there right now, guys. Like Warren Buffett has hundreds of billions of dollars. A lot of people right now are geniuses in this bull market. You guys are making a lot of money. I made a crap ton of money too. I'll show you my portfolio in a second here. Like, I get it. We're making a lot of money right now. But do we want to be greedy when everybody else is greedy? Or do we want to start to be fearful when everybody else is greedy? Do we want to de-risk our portfolios a little bit right now? Do we want to take some profits on the high beta stuff? Do we want to minimize our leverage right now? Do we want to minimize our downside and actually make money in downside? Potentially put hedges in place right now? In my opinion, yes. Maybe the market keeps going up. Maybe we get another 20, 30, 40% out of this market, which we'll talk about when I think it's actually going to crash in a minute. But maybe that happens, but maybe it doesn't. And in a game of investing, you only have to get rich one time. So we want to make money in a bull market and not get wiped out in a bear market. Like, yes, we'll probably go down a little bit, of course, but we don't want to go down as much as the market. And we actually want to be able to capitalize when things get very, very cheap. But if you have all your money invested right now, you kind of don't have any opportunity to capitalize when things get cheap because you're probably going to get a margin call and you're probably going to make you liquidate your account. Your broker's going to call you and say, yo, dude, you're way too leveraged right now. The market's down 20, 30, 40%. You got to send cash or we're going to sell your stuff. Now you're probably going to say, screw it, sell my stocks. And you're going to sell your stocks at the worst possible time when things become cheaper. So Buffett has a bunch of cash right now. Please be careful. So now I want to talk about this chart. And I know we talked about it before, but it's honestly like mission critical to go through this again right here because it did just update. So you can see this shows you the valuation level of the S&P 500 going all the way back to 1985. In the year 1999/2000, trading somewhere around a 24 to 25 PE ratio, price earnings ratio level. Right now, we're somewhere around 24-ish. So it's not as expensive as here, but it sure is pretty dang close in my opinion. And you're going to be like, well, Brandon, I don't care about valuations. I'm going to say, whoever's listening, you should care about valuations because in the short term, like maybe a 1 or 2, maybe 3-year time horizon, valuations don't matter that much. But eventually these stocks in this market, it's going to be put on a scale and it's going to be weighed. And whatever it weighs, that's what the market's going to correct to. And in my opinion, it's going to correct down quite a bit. I'm going to tell you when it's going to go down. I'm going to tell you how much I think it's going to go down. But I think that right now the market's just euphoric. Everybody loves AI. Everybody's just making a crap ton of money. Nobody's really worried about risk management right now. And that's kind of like the complete opposite of how you want to think. Like when the herd is greedy, all the Robinhooders, all the people that don't know what they're doing with their accounts. Like I'm not picking on Robinhooders, but you get my point. A lot of the newbies go over there. Like when they are euphoric and making a crap ton of money. That is a time that I personally start to get a little bit nervous. And I'm usually never nervous in the stock market, but right now I'm honestly like a little bit genuinely nervous because valuations are simply hot right now. That's what caused the crash in 1999. It's very likely to cause something bad to happen right now. And I do think it's going to come in 2026. So there is still time to capitalize on this. We'll get to that in just a second, but just take a look. The future returns when we're trading on a high valuation level typically suck. High valuation level here, they typically suck. But a low valuation level like PE ratio of 10 down here, great returns going forward. PE ratio of like 11 right here after the 2008 crash. Great returns going forward. But the trend is that when valuation levels are high, when you're paying top dollar for stuff, pretty much perfection's priced in, you could really only go down from there in my opinion. So yes, I'm extremely bullish the market in the long term, like 10 years plus. But in the short term, there's a lot of problems right now, and valuation is definitely at the top of my list. So I am doing some de-risking in my account. I'm trimming out some of my sold puts. I made a lot of money. I made good profit. I'm trimming some of my long calls. I'm trimming some of my high beta stuff, the stuff that's going to go down more than what the market goes down. I'm trimming some of that because when and if the market falls, I'm going to be ready to capitalize. I'm going to be ready to buy the shares from the people freaking out and selling their stuff. But if the market keeps going up, guess what? I am positioned perfectly to capitalize on that. So here's one of my favorite charts that I've ever posted on this channel before, and we have to go through it because it did just update again and we haven't went through it in a little bit. But this chart shows you what the S&P 500 does versus what the earnings per share is at. So you can see that the darker line is earnings per share. The lighter line is the S&P 500, obviously. So like we talk about all the time, the number one thing that moves the price of a stock or an index in the long term is what the earnings per share does. If the profits go up, which is earnings per share, if profits go up, the stock's going to follow that typically in the long term. You could see the market goes a little bit below, more here, a little bit above, a little bit below, and a little bit above. But the market's going to follow that trend line of earnings per share growth. Now, when the market goes above, we're going to have reversion to the mean to the downside. When the market goes below, the market's going to have reversion to the mean to the upside. So it's basically just bobbing and weaving above this line. So yes, we're getting good earnings per share growth, but see how the market outran what the earnings per share growth did. This is what I'm trying to talk about right now. The market is just getting a little bit ahead of itself. And at some point in the future, these two lines are going to overlap again. I'm pretty much 100% confident of that. I will say in the next 5 years, it's going to happen, but I'm thinking in 2026, this is actually going to happen. I'm going to tell you why in just a second. But anybody remember when I was on this channel making a video at the end of last year and I say, hey, these two lines are going to overlap again. And you guys are like, yeah, whatever. The market's been pumping for the last 3 years. The market's going to keep pumping higher. And I said, dude, these lines are going to overlap. And just 2 months later, the market fell like 20, 25% and they overlapped again. So I think 2026 will be the year that these will overlap. So yes, the market's still rated all-time highs, even though it's been, very volatile the last couple of days. Market is still at all-time highs, and you still have a lot of opportunity to trim when things are still at all-time highs. Getting a 2 or 3% dip, that is nothing. Don't think that you're buying the dip when the market's down 2%. Like this market needs to correct 20%, in my opinion, to be at intrinsic value. That's just the true value of the market. Because just look, if the market falls down to this level right here where earnings per share is at, take that to the left on the chart, and you're looking at roughly a $5,500 S&P 500. That's roughly a 15, 20%-ish drop. But hey, what if it falls more than that? Like that's just to get to where we should be at right now. That is not to get down to a cheap level. That is just to get down to intrinsic value, the true value of what the market should be at. Like right here, the market was like 15% below intrinsic value. So what if we fall 20% to get to here, and then another 15% it just goes below that because everyone's freaking out and saying the stock market's horrible? Like that could potentially imply a 35% stock market dip. Maybe it goes down an extra 5, maybe it'll be 40%. Like, can you sustain a 40% drop in your portfolio? Me, myself, I can't. I can really sustain anything unless America fails. I guess that's when I get wiped out. But we'll have bigger problems than that if, the market fails, America fails, whatever. We'll have bigger problems than money at that point. But, typically I would expect a 20, 30, maybe 40% dip from what we're at right now. If the market doesn't dip and the trend keeps going up, we're going to do fine. I'm positioned to capitalize. But if it does dip, guess who's going to be buying things on sale? Guess who's going to be selling puts down here? Guess who's going to be buying calls down here? Guess who's going to be buying your shares down here? Because your broker calls you up and says, yo, you're getting a margin call. Send more money or close this stuff out. And you're going to say, okay, I'll close it out on the bottom and take my loss. And then Brandon's going to be there and say, okay, give me your shares and I'm going to sell puts to you at the same time too, because you're bearish and you want to buy puts on the bottom. I'm going to sell you those puts for top dollar when everything is cheap. That's kind of the name of the game right here. But we do need to go into this chart right here because this is a big problem. And then I'll give you my prediction of when I actually think this whole, potential dip is going to happen. This is the top 10 holdings of the NASDAQ. Okay. The NASDAQ is very popular. There's a lot of money in that. Triple Q is the big bad ETF that tracks it. But here's what we got to understand. 10 companies, they hold 53% of the index. And you're going to be like, well, those companies are 10 good companies. And I agree, they all are 10 very good companies. But a good company and a good investment are two completely different things. So NVIDIA, for example, yes, amazing company, but it's overvalued. Apple, great company, overvalued. Microsoft, expensive. Broadcom, expensive. Amazon. This one, in my opinion, is at intrinsic value, so it's not really a needle mover either way. Tesla is super expensive. You could go through Alphabet, which is Google. Those are pretty much at intrinsic value. Meta's cheap. Palantir is a bubble. So Alphabet's here twice, so we'll say there's 9 companies right here. 3 out of the 9 are close to intrinsic value, but 6 out of the 9, in my opinion, are expensive / bubbles. They're not all bubbles. Like, I'm not saying NVIDIA's a bubble. I think the Palantir is a bubble, even though it dipped a little bit after earnings. Like, when the index falls and when these stocks go down, they're going to carry the index lower. The NASDAQ's going to fall. The S&P 500 is going to fall. The Russell's going to fall simply because everything else is falling. Bitcoin's going to fall. Ethereum's going to fall. Gold's probably going to fall. Like, when people panic, they panic. They sell their stocks, they sell their gold, they put it all in cash, and they say, I'm going to wait out the storm. But by the time that they go and wait out the storm, it's already kind of too late. The move already made. Like, the market's going to go down. It's probably going to rebound at some point in the future. So what do we do right now? How do we capitalize on this stuff? How do we make money? Let's take a look at my account. Let me hit the refresh button here and see what's going on. You can see that I'm down roughly $19,000 today. Now you're going to be like, oh my God, Brandon, you're down so much money. And I'm going to be like, I don't really care what the market does on a day-to-day basis because I don't make single day plays. Like, that's not where the money is at. The money is in the longer duration plays, and you just bet big when you have a lot of conviction. And that's usually what I do. So you could see that, yeah, I'm up almost 170% in 2 years. Like, not many people can say that for their portfolios. So me being down 1.5% today, I don't really even care because honestly, if you look at the bottom right here, you can see that the NASDAQ is down 1.88%. So I'm down actually less than what the NASDAQ is going down. So you have to understand that, hey, I'm down 1.5%, the NASDAQ's down 1.8%, and the typical average Joe, like today, they're probably down 4%. So if the market falls 5%, they're probably going to be down like 20% because their beta, their volatility in their accounts is just so much more. I am positioned to capitalize on this stuff. I am positioned to win. I am positioned to, if the market goes down, I could buy the dip. But if the market goes up, hey, I'm still going to make a lot of money on the upside. If the market goes up 20%, I'll probably go up like 25. I'll go up a little bit more than what the market's going up right now. So at the end of the day, I am positioned to win either way. So I just posted my 40-minute masterclass on YouTube. The video is right here. Really, 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 really recommend you go watch that video. It's going to help you out a lot. I've had so many people DM me after that one saying it totally changed their life. Check it out. Like and subscribe if you got value here. I'll see you guys in that masterclass. Have a good day.